think that is going to ultimately be revolutionary.
Or warn your doctor about a reaction you might have to a drug before it's prescribed.
The opportunities here are simply enormous.
We're closer than you think.
This stuff's here.
Your genome and the future of medicine, tailored to fit you. But there's another side to personalized medicine that's equally important, and that's controlling adverse drug reactions.
Right now in this country, more than 125,000 people die each year in America's hospitals from adverse drug events. It's the 5th leading cause of death in America's hospitals.
The DNA is the master molecule that tells the body how to work. It's the set of master instructions. In the instruction set, there's these 4 letters, and it turns out for each one of us, there are about 3 billion of those, and they're strung together end to end. It turns out that 99% of the building blocks are all the same. 1% of them are different. But it's that 1% differences that make us different human beings.
It's also why a medication may work in one person, but have no effect in another.
We have drugs for breast cancer, and yet 40,000 women die of breast cancer every year in the United States, and an equal number of men die of prostate cancer. If we go back to what I call the Neolithic era, when I was starting to do this kind of research, and we see the changes that have already occurred, it is mind-boggling. The way we've been used to doing things, seemingly forever, but at least for the past 50 years, is going to change, and it's going to change very rapidly.
We realized early on that this was a really important opportunity for Mayo to be able to offer to its patients. The ability to reduce side effects, to choose the right drug and deliver it at the right time. Dr. Weinshilboum is probably the person that is most responsible for starting this field in the entire world.
He is the founding father of pharmacogenomics, that particular area which we look at the genetic and the genetic contribution to drug response.
Respond to the drugs that doctors prescribe for you. When I was in medical school at the University of Kansas, if we saw a child with acute lymphoblastic leukemia of childhood, the #1 cancer of kids, tragically, that child would be dead in 1 year. There was really nothing we could do for them. Today, 90% of the children with leukemia of childhood are cured today by the use of drugs. Not radiation, not surgery, by the use of drugs.
Most people who receive Plavix as an antiplatelet therapy do well, but 20% of us do not metabolize the drug, and therefore it doesn't work. We'll start seeing that newborns get their whole genome sequenced, and that genome is stored and then used as needed.
We'll know the genotypes for, that is the DNA sequence variations for all of the genes that encode proteins that either metabolize drugs, transport drugs, or are targets for drugs, so that if a doctor writes a prescription for codeine in the future, which codeine is still a fine drug for some people, then immediately the electronic medical record will recognize that this patient we already know in the electronic medical record that this patient has multiple copies of CYP2D6, the gene that makes codeine into morphine, and will send an alert to the physician, your patient might be at risk. Do you want to use this drug? Do you want to select an alternative drug, or do you want to change the dose of the drug? It'll be amazing, but it's going to be disruptive. And wonderfully so, because we need to prevent disease, not treat it.
Your genome and the future of medicine, tailored to fit you.